Here I was, about to execute this poor bastard like some dime store angel of death. And I realized they were correct. I wouldn't know right from wrong if one of them was helping the poor and the other was banging my sister.
It's Max Payne, baby!
A game series about a New York detective who takes the maximum amount of pain. You can kill his wife, kid, partner, girlfriend, and shoot him 1,000 times. He's gonna do what any man does in that situation. Pills and Latina women. Hallelujah. There isn't a game in the last 10 years that knows tone like Max Payne. Mix in half of these blackouts with a 10 out of 10 album they're slapping me with, and suddenly I'm heading to my AA meetings with a B. A lot of what the first two games offered were gritty, dark moments that I don't think a lot of AAA games got the balls to take a stab at nowadays, with comedy sprinkled throughout you just wouldn't expect.
Oh, Rico, you're so bad.
I am, ain't it?
God, I'm hard right now. I mean, look at those fucking cutscenes. Like a meme template. The shooting would give you a semi just doing a slow motion dive, and the faces... My god, the faces. But with Rockstar handling Max Payne 3 and Dan Houser taking the reins to co-write with the original writer, Sam Lake.
Here you go. Welcome to the bureau.
Rest assured, that comedy, gone. We're gonna embrace that full fucking 8-hour-a-day Twitter user depression, boys. It's a new year, new me, and the me I'm going for this year is the base depressed alcoholic guy. I've been striving for this one for years, fella, but this year I'm feeling it. So get your pain pills ready, a nice bottle of whiskey, sit back, relax, and get ready for Max Payne 3. So let me give you some setting first. It's 2001. Max Payne drops on multiple platforms to critical success, written by Sam Lake, and yes, it's him.
Hi, I'm Sam Lake.
The first game made by Remedy follows the story of New York detective Max Payne, slowly slipping into insanity after losing his wife and kids to local crackheads.
If you want some, I'll give it you.
Which can only be solved by killing half the crime families in New York that sell the drug known as Valkyrie, along with the government agencies linked to the operation, killing every single leader involved in the space of 3 nights, taking shooters and storytelling to a new level. Psychotic levels, mwah, mwah. Perfect immersion of the pain I feel after a 2 a.m. failed shit. It's a masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Give me some more slow motion mobsters with my gabagool. 2003 rolls by. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, takes you on more of a redemption story. As Max teams up with a bird he stares at in the shower, taking down the Russian mafia and the secret society. It took a lot of what the first game did and made it better, including that jolly bop he had, and using faces that aren't JPEGs, mastering what they had already produced, improving the movement and the bullet time. There was not much more 2003 could deliver, before finishing up Max Payne style, losing his missus, but deciding maybe it's finally time to move on, and maybe there's other bitches in the shower. 10 out of 10, Adidas tracksuits, would risk the gulag, Russian mafia boy. 2009 rolls by. It's the Max Payne movie, taking all that grit and darkness and rolling it up into Mark Wahlberg. Who's the best guy we can get to play Max Payne? Mark Wahlberg.
Got me drip.
I mean, it's dog shit. Take away he's called Max Payne, have a big joint and a couple of beers, and this could be the most insane movie you've ever seen.
He's not dead, he's here. Bullshit.
It's just him running at them.
One guy.
I don't even know what I watched. And here we are in 2012. Max Payne 3. A game developed by Rockstar took away a lot of what Remedy had left behind with the first 2 games, but what remained was refined to perfection. The shooting, the setting, the depression. Widely well received by critics, but one crucial question for fans remained. What the fuck is he in Brazil? The game takes you down the story of Max Payne 9 years after the last game, taking up security work in the heart of Brazil for the Bronco family, a wealthy family of dickheads, spoiled brats, and politicians.
Hey everyone, I'm Joe Biden's husband.
While also trying to come to terms with the death of his family. Wait, but yes, Rockstar just kind of decided to go with a washed-up alcoholic. Think of an episode of BoJack Horseman, but he's Max. A lot of the game decided to abandon the finishing plot of the last game and just decided it didn't happen. And Max has just been stewing in his own pity for the last 10 years like some fucking bum. Something I could work with if he just cleaned his fucking apartment, boy. Look at that mess.
Fuck off with the fucking wisecracks. Really?
Sorry, I'm sorry, Max. The story picks up when Fabiana, the wife of the head of the Bronco family, being kidnapped by the Commando Sombra, also known as the bad guys in Counter-Strike.
Don't make me shoot you back.
Largely, the game is traveling through every end of Sao Paulo to get her back, with Max proving along the way that a guy can kill 1,000 Brazilians, but still be perceived as shit at his job. The game isn't completely off course though, as it does give you those flashbacks to give you a rough idea on what made a psychopath whose entire redemption story is about losing his family spend his 40s clubbing in Brazil through a suicidal Reddit narration. This is where you meet Passos, the right-hand man who he apparently met through the academy, and after getting drunk and picking up some solid sixes, we end up killing half the Bambinos in Jersey Shore.
Don't take that from this punk toy.
What the f*** are you delusional?
And as it turns out, the first guy we killed was the mob boss's son.
What the fuck?
So to flee the mob, Max has to take up his job in Brazil, even though he's killed multiple crime families in the same week before. Rockstar, why couldn't he just kill the crime family? Well, you know, he's real sad, and he's getting old, and this way we get to go on vacation to Brazil. So now, none of the Max Paynes are particularly long, but the entire first half of the game is essentially just watching Max steep lower into his depression while watching failed attempts to defend the Bronco family. Along the way, you'll find clues scattered here and there. None of these are essential to the story or your progression, or even fucking useful some of the time.
This old guy, my days of playing dress up were over.
Okay. But it will give you a better understanding of what's actually going on, providing a fuck ton of context for the story without shoving it down your throat, or without it even entirely needed. Combine this with the golden weapon parts left around and more pain pills than Amy Winehouse, and it does give you a good reason to look around the environments. I do think they did it better in the previous games, as one of my favourite moments were wandering upon a radio or a TV show explaining the rampage I'd either just been on or am currently at. Maybe we're just going off the idea that 300 gang members getting killed walking through a favela is just a fucking Tuesday. It might be, you know? I ain't been to Brazil. They also added random characters that aided you for no apparent reason, and I loved it. You'd be bopping through an abandoned building and all of a sudden, Cowboy Mike would jump out of the fucking blue and either die in the first room or complete half the mission himself. Your only little bit of help is going to be Passos, but that's fine. The missions aren't as hard as the last game, I'd say, even on the hardest difficulty. Give up. But I gotta give credit where it's due on one of the two encounters in the third game. The retired cop.
You were a cop? Yeah, just retired. Oh, what a life that was. And it gave me the money to raise a family. Oh, I got a girl at college at Wisconsin and a boy who's playing football for Minnesota State. You want to see their picture?
No, that's
Once you find this dude, he pops up a few more times, but only if you check the right spots. This is something I found on my 5th playthrough, because I just never checked a fucking toilet stall. The kind of thing I want to kiss him for, you know? The golden guns are cool, but they don't really do anything besides making him gold. I ain't fucking Colonel Gaddafi, I don't give a shit. Fuck that. Give me a gold leather jacket and watch me roll out of the favela looking like fucking Shooter McGavin. But as much as the content surrounding the environments are kind of minimal, I still recommend doing so, as every mission is made to perfection. It really made this small town English boy feel like a depressive lunatic in Brazil. To give you an idea of the detail in this game, when it's blazing outside, you can see Max sweating out bourbon in the sun. When he's been wearing the same suit for 3 days, you can see more creases than a fucking crisp packet. Every single place, especially the favelas, is dripping in detail. It takes you down every angle of Brazil, from the football clubs to the swamps to the nightlife, and portrays it all brilliantly. The vaporwave neon filter in every cutscene can be seen as irritating by some. I think it adds to some of that authenticity, and at least pays some homage to the previous titles, instead of just going with a plain basic look. Because at that point, I'm watching Michael. I'm watching Michael on GTA 5, you know? Along with removing a lot of the banter from Max's character, they've also removed a lot of the psycho in him. At least 2 missions a game were going through a psychotic episode, exploring some of Max's deepest trauma. They've kind of ditched these in return for just being blackout drunk constantly. Just a 2-minute exploration of what the fuck makes Max go to the ends of the earth to save a random Brazilian family over than 80 grand a year and Latino women. That kind of answers it. Luckily enough, majority of these issues are outweighed from the amazing performance of the late James McCaffrey, the same dude who voiced Max Payne in the previous games. I can't understate how essential it is to have such a good voice actor in a game that is mostly story. With half the cutscenes disguised as fucking loading screens, you better sit tight and try not to cut yourself. But if we're really talking about Max Payne, we're talking about the shooting, the backbone of this series. Let me explain to you the basics of this beauty, okay? We got the bullet time effect, something that would give even Joe Swanson a semi. Add in jump diving into this situation, and we start to see why Max is pulled out of his fucking face. Killing people in this game has to be one of the most satisfying fucking things a game company has ever done. Full stop. Fucking hell. And they're down, boys. Watching a man's head blast open and peel back like a fucking banana, seeing those flaps I'm making in guys' faces is something not a lot of games can offer. Motherfuckers flapping. Even GTA 5 had similar shooting, but somehow in comparison to Max Payne, it feels like a sluggish Gmod ripoff. I could honestly shoot people in this fucking game forever. If someone could recreate No Russian with this shooting, give me a call. Your Honor, my client would never hurt a large crowd. Cause I ain't got no bullet time, bitch. I'm honestly resorted to shooting people that pass by just to get that rush. Just small details like killing dudes and allowing the player to keep firing as many bullets as they want, because Rockstar knows better than anyone. We're just fucking degenerates. I just want to kill him. If you don't give a fuck about story games or emo detectives, I'm gonna call you a bitch. But please take some time to give this shooting one fucking attempt before you end up in a favela trash bag. You are going to be given some boss fights like in the previous games. Sadly, they did cheap out on this a tiny bit. On one game, I'm telling the devil the dime sent me. 18 fucking times in a row. Next game, I'm doing quick time events. Shit, I thought it was a fucking cutscene. Oh. And shooting at office lights. It's a shame with the shooting this good, they couldn't give me some kind of mega juggernaut boss or something, but I get it. It's not 2003 anymore, and not every man can sponge 10 bullets and make it look somewhat realistic. Gun selection is pretty impressive, but it's all down to the headshots. It wouldn't be too crazy to complete this entire game with a pistol, as long as you're hitting those mush heads every human possesses. The second half of the game is Max's redemption arc, going for a full Breaking Bad.
Who are you talking to right now?
After losing the head of the Bronco family and finally deciding to go down that sober route, we track down Fabiana just to see her get killed instantly, followed by Marcelo getting fried like an egg. We spend the rest of the game uncovering how we've been set up by our right-hand man to become a fall guy that would have easily been obvious to anyone with a room temperature IQ, let alone a New York detective. No wonder that place is filled with crime. And as it turns out, the kidnappings all along were down to the head of the family's brother, Victor, with help from a guy called Becker, the Warwick Davis man that's the leader of the UFE. The UFC. It's Dana White, everybody. If he goes fishing with Hitler, he's out of my team. The local police militia that terrorizes the favelas for organs? They're doing it for organs. Finally showing you how Brazil runs its economy and the scandal set up by these three. Some of you might be sat there thinking to yourself, well, that's Passos, fuck. But as Passos came back and helped you kill a guy with a mustache, and he's banging Fabiana's sister, they got that baby coming, and Max is cool with destroying thousands of families, but seeing a new one fixes all of that. He gets to live. The last mission alone with the soundtrack is probably one of my favourite missions from Rockstar. Everything about this is just what makes the game great. Pumped up to the max. Max Payne. No, I'll stop. The game finishes with blowing up a runway, SAS style, and avenging the Bronco family, one snap at a time. With the game ending on Max at a bar, in the middle of fucking nowhere. Where's he going? Since this title's release, we haven't seen Max Payne in over 10 years, with discussions of a remake on the rise, and Alan Wake edging me like your everyday stepsister. I don't think it's insane to think we could be seeing a title within the next few years. If you haven't played Max Payne 3, I can't recommend it enough. Even if you haven't played the first two games, the flashbacks and Max's constant dialogue gives you a good understanding of what's already happened. Now I'm going to force you to dislike bomb the video as I explain a few small issues I had. First off, I don't think they ever fully expressed his motivations behind what made him care about this corrupt drug-sniffing family enough. A little bit more detail on why he was too afraid to step in New York, but would happily tackle an entire government if they cooked the right dude. It would have been nice. Secondly, the replayability in this game is a little rough. The gameplay, I could play it all fucking day. As I've said with the unskippable cutscenes, it does begin to piss you off when you're forced to play the game 3 times if you want to play the hardest difficulty. On top of that, the arcade mode is just story missions with points, which you also have to sit through the cutscenes. But the online is one benefit to this that still can be fairly fun.
Did a diving jump into a... Oh, hey, that's not fair.
Holy shit!
Did I kill you? Did I kill you?
No! It's what I imagine GTA 5 Team Deathmatch to actually be like, but you have to expect the population of Chernobyl every time you click search. But that's that. Max Payne 3. A game oozing with violence, pills, depression, but my god, does it make my dick hot.